clear that his daughter's not allowed to in his house because of the lifestyle that she.
So this brother, he's upset because he doesn't understand why Lil Boosie would separate himself from his own flesh, separate himself from his own daughter due to the fact that she's in that community, the LGBTQ community. But let's think about let's think about what if the son or the daughter was a thief? You see, what if the son was in the house and he was constantly stealing, you know, you had money that came up missing. Or what if the son he's in the house, he's bringing drugs into the house. He's selling drugs out of your house. Would he feel the same way about that situation? You see, if your family's uh, uh, safety is at risk, your son's he's selling weed, he's selling dope out of your house. He has large sums of money, stashed in the couch. Would you feel comfortable with your son in that house? You see, so Lil Boosie, he has other kids. You know, kids are very impressionable. So I don't know the whole story, but this is Lil Boosie's oldest daughter, or whatever, how old she is. If these kids, you know, see this woman in the house, with another woman, and they're being intimate, they're holding hands, every now and then they kiss each other on the cheek, they're at the dinner table. Little kids are very impressionable, you see. So was it wrong for Lil Boosie, to say, hey, you can't come to my house, as long as you're in that community, as long as your lifestyle, you know, I don't agree with that lifestyle, so you can't come to my house. Was Lil Boosie wrong for that? Let's go to the Bible. Let's see what God says. How should we judge the situation? Because God says the wisdom of the world is foolishness. You see, the way we think and the way God thinks is two different things. You see, let's see how would God judge it? What would Jesus do? You see, most Christians always say that. What would Jesus do in that situation if my daughter is in that lifestyle and I don't agree with it? I don't want my other kids to be contaminated. We already have uh, TV and these vile, ratchet rap songs. Glorilla and Foxy Red, Sexy Red, whatever. Our kids are being contaminated and bombarded with wickedness on a daily basis. So, do I want that lifestyle, that that example to be shown to my children, on a full-time basis from within my house? Let's see what would Jesus say about the situation. 1 Corinthians 5 says, purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened, for even Christ our Passover is sacrificed for us. So every year for Passover, we are to purge out all sin, all filthiness, you know, from within our homes, uh, all the malice that we have towards one another. We're supposed to purge that out every year during the Passover. Let's jump down to verse 9. It says, I wrote unto you in an epistle not to company with fornicators. See that? We are not to company with fornicators. In the Christian church, they said, live and let live. Come as ye are. You see? But Paul says here, not to company with fornicators. There's many different types of fornication. Verse 10, yet not altogether with the fornicators of this world, or with the covetous, or extortioners. If your son is in the house, he's extorting, your wife for money all the time, every day. She gave him $100. He spent it on drugs. Next day he come back. He's threatening her with violence in your house, under your roof. You know, should we keep company with extortioners, with covetous people in our house, under our roof? It's bad enough we got to deal with this riffraff outside our homes, but now inside our own house, we got to deal with this fornicators. Okay, so are covetous, are extortioners, are with idolaters. People who keep Christmas and birthdays in our house. They got a statue of a fake a Caesar Borgia on the fireplace. You know, some people we don't want that in our house. You see, for then must ye needs go out of the world. You see, you come out of the world, but now your family members bringing the world back into your house. Verse 11. But now I have written unto you not to keep company. We're not to keep company with these sorts of people. If any man that is called a brother be a fornicator, or covetous, or an idolater, or a railer, or a drunkard, what if your daughter or your son coming home drunk every night? They throwing up in the kitchen. Your children are seeing this behavior every night. Fornication also deals with sexual fornication. You can, according to Leviticus 18, sexual fornication goes into man on man, woman on woman. You sleeping with animals. These are all forms of fornication. Or drunkard, or an extortioner, with such and one not to eat. With such and one, no, not to eat. So we're not going to have these type of people living with us under our roof. You see, let's get the next verse. So Paul says in verse 12, for what have I to do to judge them also that are without? So Paul was judging people. He was prophesying the word to people outside of the church. Do not ye judge them that are within? So it would be hypocritical of him if there's people inside the church, inside your home, doing the same things that you preach against inside your home, and you don't judge them. But them that are without, God judgeth. Therefore, put away from among yourselves that wicked person. So Lil Boosie, he did the right thing. He doesn't want that kind of influence on his children in his house, you see. But This is God's word.